My name is Kenzie Osborne. I am a performance nutritionist at rxRecourse. I'm also a registered health coach. So today we are going to be talking about summer wellness. So navigating your health and wellness through the summer, which can sometimes be really challenging and confusing, especially with all of the summer events going on. So we're going to be talking about a few strategies, a few ways to navigate that and stay on track with your wellness goals during the summer. As always, if you do have any questions during this session, you can pop them into the chat in Zoom. And if you'd like to ask me something privately, you can also do so through the chat. Just pick my name, Kenzie Osborne, and you can let me know if you want to put in like an anonymous question. Okay. So we're gonna get started right now. So if you have not already done so, you can just go onto menti.com and enter the code to join in the this chat so that you can interact and join in on the different conversations that we're going to be having. You can also use the QR code if you wish. Everyone has done that, yes? Perfect. I think so. Okay. Okay, so before we get started, I want to know a little bit about some of your goals and your aspirations for this summer. So take a moment to just think about something that you would like to maintain throughout the summer in the space of health and wellness. Lose weight. So kind of weight management. More exercise, so continue up with exercise habits and fitness habits. Awesome. Yeah, these are great ones. In terms of losing weight, are we thinking from an exercise standpoint? Are we thinking from a nutrition standpoint, a stress standpoint? What do we think is going to help with that weight loss? Any ideas there?
Well, I said lose weight, and it should be lose, so it's a little bit of a.
That's okay.
But,
happens all the time.
I think it's from all the COVID stuff
right.
that all the uncertainty made people, specifically myself, sometimes snack a little more, and I just want to regain, I guess, a more healthy and more fit body.
Right. Yeah, and I think the unfortunate thing about COVID is it did require us to stay inside, to stay isolated. And a lot of times that may pose as another barrier to both nutrition and to exercise, while also putting on extra stress. And when we do feel more stressed, that does impact not only the hormones that hold on to fat cells and not only the hormones that can increase the likelihood of weight gain, but it also puts us in a situation where we may be more inclined to snack to help calm some of that stress and anxiety. And so that's something very common that's happened throughout COVID. Spirit. I love that. Have a good spirit. Stay up and positive. That's awesome. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about a few different strategies. The first one is maneuver, and I'm going to explain that in a second. Potential barriers that may get in the way of you achieving your health and wellness goals. We're going to talk a little bit about maintaining a routine. And a routine in the summer can be, again, challenging. Vacations, concerts, all this fun stuff going on. Having a steady routine can be difficult. We'll talk a bit about hydration and why that's so important in the summertime especially. Some social strategies to keep you on track during all these fun summer events, and other considerations. So I want to talk first about maneuvering. So maneuvering, there are a couple different definitions on the screen for you here, but they're basically, the word basically describes to make changes, small changes in a direction that supports your greater purpose or your greater goal. A lot of times when we think of making changes to our health and wellness, some mindsets may be what we call an all or nothing mindset. So we go all in or we don't do anything at all. Maybe we exercise every single day or we don't exercise at all. And the key to sustainable change is just slightly maneuvering. Think about it like a little pivot in your lifestyle to go towards your goal, to take that small step towards your goal. And that's the key for sustainable change. If we take an all or nothing approach, in all likelihood, if we go from zero exercise to exercise every single day, that may be too much of a jump for us to actually maintain that sustainably. So instead, we may slightly pivot and start by saying, instead of exercising every single day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stairs instead of the elevator every day. And I'm going to make that my first step towards becoming more physically active. And then we start building more and more on that idea to keep taking steps towards your goal. So maneuvering is extremely important in creating sustainable change. So I want to know a little bit about what you currently do or maybe have done in the past to maneuver the summer or make small pivots in the summer that maintains your health and wellness. So in other words, what small things can you do that can help you maintain your health and wellness in the summer? I want you to think about that for a second and write down some of your answers here. Making a schedule. Yeah, for sure. That's a great starting point. And I think it's actually a point that a lot of people maybe skip over or underestimate in making an actual schedule to plan out times for when you're going to do things for yourself. I guess for lack of a better word, blocking out me time for you throughout the day so that you can spend time maybe making meals, maybe exercising, maybe doing some stress relief, different things for yourself. Slowing down. Yeah, taking a moment to just breathe, to slow down your work, to be able to think about things that you're doing, to spend time with your family or friends, and work less when I can. Taking breaks for yourself and making sure to set barriers and limits as to your work schedule can be extremely beneficial in reducing stress and also allowing yourself time to do other health practices. So those are great. Okay. So those were all great ideas for maneuvering. And again, maneuvering is a skill that is taking small steps to accomplish your goals and setting a schedule, slowing down, blocking out specific time to spend time for yourself is a really great first step to making positive change. A couple potential barriers that you may face as you go towards your health and wellness goals. One, especially in the summertime, but also all year round, is going to be time with all the events going on, vacations, work, balancing family and life necessities with actually spending time to dedicate towards your goals can be a barrier. As in the last slide, someone had mentioned setting a schedule can really help you balance and manage your time in a way that makes sense. I like to think of, I have about 12 hours in my day, 12, 14 hours in my day to spend doing things. We'll say 14. I like 10 hours of sleep. So we'll say 14 hours to do things. Okay. Probably for most people, about 7 of those hours are going to be work. Maybe 1 or 2 are going to be towards eating, driving, traveling, commuting, all that stuff. And then you have about 5 hours left in your day. So thinking about how you'd like to spend that time, what things you'd like to get done, how you can use those 5 hours every single day to get closer towards your goals. That may be incorporating stress relief, movement, spending some time making meals, but you do have that 5-hour block of time every day to try to get there. building out a routine. So along the similar lines, summer routines, again, it can be difficult to find a way to get into a routine with everything going on. The best thing that I can recommend is, again, keeping a schedule, planning ahead, looking at what does my schedule look like 2 weeks from now? What does it look like tomorrow? And trying to best plan and best prepare for that. I also like to recommend at least having the first 15 minutes of your day to be the same every day. So whatever you do during that 15 minutes, maybe you get up, you have a shower, you brush your teeth, maybe you get up, you have a cup of coffee and you sit on the porch. Whatever you do for that first 15 minutes of a day, make sure that it is not work related. Make sure that it is something that is relaxing, something that wakes you up in a calm manner, and keep that as a routine every single day. Does anyone have anything that they do every single day when they wake up in the morning?
What do you do every single day when you wake up in the morning? Because Jean-Marie wakes up at I wouldn't even call it morning.
Oh no.
5. Let's say 5.
5. It's really
5
early
in the morning.
5 in the morning. Yeah. So
Awesome.
what is your routine normally? Because you were telling me, if you want to share.
I go to the washroom first.
Yes, well.
Good start. That's a great start.
And I usually start with 30 minutes of prayer, meditation prayer. I always do that. That's every day I do that when I start.
Nice. Awesome.
And then I do a lot of other stuff after that, but yeah, I always start with meditation prayer for half an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
And
having that,
amazing.
oh, sorry. Yeah, having that first 10-15 minutes of your day as something that you know is always the same can bring about a sense of like calmness. It can set your day up for a positive day, and you just know that every morning you do have that 15 minutes to yourself, and that can be a great first step in building that routine and keeping a routine throughout the summer when your day may be a little bit wacky.
Yeah, I definitely think it's healthy because I grab my phone first thing. I'm not even out of bed and I pick it up and I look at it, and I should not be doing that.
So I challenge you next time to, when you wake up, wait 5 minutes. Not yet 15, but wait 5 minutes to take a look at your phone. Maybe that means you get up and start brewing your coffee, or maybe you do a couple stretches, but aim for that 5 minutes before picking up your phone. That's my challenge. So next potential barrier can be mindset. It can be really challenging, again, in the summer with everything going on. It can be hard to maintain a positive mindset. I like to recommend doing some affirmations throughout the day. And if you are noticing that you're getting frustrated or starting to go into a negative space or a negative mood, taking a step away for 10 minutes, doing something that you love, going outside for, a quick 10-minute walk, but doing something that, you're recognizing your mood is getting lower or it's becoming more negative, and trying to respond with a positive way to get yourself back on track for that day. The weather. It's so hot outside today and yesterday. The weather can throw things off and can make us, make plans change. It may, with the heat so high, maybe you really wanted to go for a run or go play tennis, but now it's just simply too hot to do that. So again, going back to that maneuvering, pivoting, trying to figure out that in that moment, what can you do to maintain your goals while adhering to the crazy weather that is bound to happen? Spending time with friends and family, that can be a barrier. That can also be something that can be really supportive. So depending on what that dynamic is like for you, recognizing who in your life is going to support you in your goals and spending time with them, sharing your accomplishments with them, sharing your goals with them. Both writing down goals and telling other people goals may be beneficial in helping you actually stay committed to them. So recognizing who in your life is going to support you and sharing your goals with them. And then recognizing some of those people in your life who may not be supporting your goals, or some events that may not be supporting your goals, and trying to brainstorm ways to navigate those when that happens and to do the best in every moment. And then social situations, which of course are going to be all your barbecue outings, your ice cream dates, your concerts, all that fun stuff. That can be a barrier in getting towards your goals. So just as a question to you, have you thought ahead about how you can preserve your health and wellness this summer? Have you given any thought to it? We got some yeses and we got some nos. Well, now is your time to do that. So by the end of this session, everyone will be a yes, because throughout this session, we are thinking about how we can preserve our health and wellness this summer. So for all those nos, we'll bring you up to a yes by the end of this hour for sure. So we're going to talk a little bit about a routine. So a lot of times in the summer, we can get off track. It's very easy to do that with all the distractions going on. Has anyone experienced, I mean, I'm sure people have experienced this, just it's summer, so I'll do whatever and then I'll get back on track in September. That's kind of a common thought. Or an all or nothing attitude. Perhaps, you're going away this weekend. So maybe during the week you think, it doesn't matter. I'm going away this weekend anyways. I'll just, do whatever this week and not, follow my health and wellness goals during the week. So trying to stick, again, that first 15 minutes of your day, setting an intention can be a great way to kickstart your routine. And trying to set some goals for yourself throughout every week. What do I want to accomplish this week? Again, how do I want to use those 5 hours of my day? If I'm working 7 hours, I'm commuting for 2, and I have 5 others to do what I want to do. Does your morning own you, or do you own it? Again, with this morning routine, it's really important. It's how you start your day. It's how you set a tone for the day. So really deciding to spend that 15 minutes for yourself in whatever way that you wish. So we had some great examples given out of how we can start our morning off. And if you are somebody that likes to be on their phone in the morning or check emails in the morning, that was me. I was definitely an email person in the morning. I would wake up and I'd be like, what's in my inbox? And it would be loaded. And then that would be how I start my day. And I don't think anybody really wants to start their day going through a bunch of emails. So spending that 15 minutes for yourself can really set a positive tone for the day. I want to pose this question, and if you do have any answers, maybe pop them in the chat or through Zoom, or you can kind of raise your hand and answer this. But thinking about what you've learned from previous summers, maybe what's gone well in previous summers, what's been challenging in previous summers, and trying to learn and reflect on your experiences, so that you can take this summer and really do better than last summer. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning from every situation and seeing what you can do better the next time that comes around. Social pressure and what's important to you. So we all have routines, we all have goals, we all have things that make us feel comfortable, and really understanding maybe what people are doing in a social situation and what is important to us. I'll give a scenario. Maybe you go out with some friends and family, and you're out until maybe 11 p.m. and you know that you have something the next day and you'd really like to be ready for that. Your friends or whoever you're out with decides to go to another place at 11 at night. They may be out till 1 or 2. There may be social pressure for you to go out there until 1 or 2 with your friends, but recognizing what do you want, what is going to make you feel good, what is going to provide yourself with the best day tomorrow. If you have something important the next day, going home, getting rest, waking up, you'll feel much better than if you were to go and continue out with your friends. So weighing the social pressure with what is truly important to you can help navigate some of those difficult decisions. And what will change this summer? So if you get to the end of August and everything has gone amazing, everything has gone really well, what will have happened? What will have changed? Will you have lost a little bit of weight? Will you have developed some strong nutrition strategies? Will you have gone for walks every day or 5 days a week or whatever that may be? Will you have been able to do 3 push-ups? What is it that you want to achieve? What is that goal? And what does that look like at the end of summer? Trying to think about what that looks like can really guide yourself in making a plan to get there. If you don't have a clear set goal, sometimes it's hard to actually get there and to make actionable steps to achieve it. So what could you do right now to improve or sustain in your routine that will give you more success this summer? If you were going to change one thing today, what may that be? An early morning walk. Ooh, I love that. Before it gets too hot. I got a dog during COVID. So I got a dog last December. And so now I do all the early morning walks. And I actually love it because it forces me to get outside and get the fresh air in the morning. So that's definitely been a beneficial component.
Well, I was just thinking how you were talking about, you know, setting up a routine and everything like that, and listening to Jean-Marie, who gets up at the way earlier than the crack of dawn. I thought if I wanted to go for a walk before the heat and to be able to schedule it in, I have to do it before work. So if I did get up at something like 5:30 in the morning or even 6 and did a half an hour power walk, it would help me with my exercise and lose some extra snacking pounds. And then I can text you because you're awake.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great first step, a great goal to have. What I like to recommend people do when they are starting a new habit is to really focus on the first 2 minutes. So from there's studies that have been done from a habit forming strategy that the first 2 minutes are the most important. If you think of most things, the first 2 minutes are usually the most challenging. Convincing yourself to get out the door to go for a walk, convincing yourself to get out the door to go to the gym, convincing yourself to get up and take things out of the fridge to cook, all those things, that's usually the hardest. Once you get that, you're usually more likely to actually do that activity. So what I like to suggest is if your goal is to have an early morning walk, that's amazing. Focus on the first 2 minutes. So getting your shoes on, opening the door and closing the door behind you. Worst case scenario, you don't do it, you come back in, and that's okay. You've done the first 2 minutes, and that is usually the hardest. And so really putting your emphasis when you're starting a new habit on that first 2 minutes, giving yourself a huge pat on the back when you complete that, and then slowly moving forward to get to doing that actual goal every day. Sleeping earlier, that is also a great strategy there. Something that I think I would like to do myself as well. I think the summer makes that more challenging because the sun is out for longer and there's a lot of nighttime events that go on. But definitely sleeping earlier is a great one. Again, small increments. So just going, today I'm going to go to bed 5 minutes earlier, and then a week later, 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. Taking it slowly can allow your body to adjust. And again, make sure that that change is sustainable.
there's all these patios. How are you going to get to all these patios if you're going to bed at 7 o'clock at night? It's not going to happen.
Patios at 4, patios at 5.
Okay.
Patios everywhere. Less lions too at 4 or 5, so benefits. So we're going to take a moment to talk a bit about hydration. And I don't just want to talk about hydration, I also want to talk about something called electrolytes. When we are in the heat, we typically will sweat more as a result. It's our body's mechanism to cool ourselves down. When we sweat, we are not only losing body water, we are also losing electrolytes. Generally speaking, this is sodium and potassium. So those would be the two general ones that we may lose and we may need a little bit more of in the summer. So when you're outside, when you are going for that early morning walk, making sure that you are staying hydrated is extremely important for a couple of reasons. First of all, of course, dehydration can cause headaches, fatigue, and it can cause your body to be in a state of stress because you don't have enough water in your body that it needs. Of course, more severe hydration can cause more severe issues, or dehydration can cause some more severe issues. Loss of electrolytes or loss of salt can also cause some complications, and it's important that when we are sweating, we are replenishing those. This I like to recommend through food rather than through sports drinks. A lot of times sports drinks do contain additives, they do contain chemicals, and they do contain excess amounts of sugar that you don't necessarily need. Those sports drinks are really meant for people who may be doing 2 hours of intense exercise or an hour and a half of intense exercise outdoors, where they really need that sugar back into them. For the average person, we tend to not need that much sugar. So getting your electrolytes from food is another great option. I don't know if you've ever tried this. Now, I am a chef. I did go to culinary school. And one thing that people don't always think about is putting salt on sweeter foods. When you put salt on sweeter foods, what happens is it's not going to necessarily taste salty. It's actually going to elevate the natural flavor that is already there. That's what salt does. That's why we add salt to everything in the food industry. So some of my favorite ways to actually replenish my electrolytes are going to be through fruits with a little bit of salt. So apple with a little bit of salt on it, banana with a little bit of salt on it. If you want to get fancy, banana with a bit of dark chocolate and salt on it. So different ideas like that can help you get your electrolytes in while, of course, hydrating with water. Okay. Activity awareness. So being aware of what activity you're doing and if it is a suitable condition or suitable weather outside to be able to do that activity in a safe manner. So understanding that if it's a day like today, it's hot, it's humid, I mean, yesterday I know it was over 30 degrees. I don't know what it is like today. But recognizing that if it is this hot, perhaps doing less exerting activity. So going for a gentle light walk, maybe doing some yoga outside, adjusting to the weather to stay safe in your activity levels when the weather is a little bit hotter. Also recognizing when you are feeling tired, when you may be feeling dehydrated, and making sure to take that break for yourself, make sure you're hydrated, make sure you're fueling your body with enough food to do that activity. So signs and symptoms to watch out for with dehydration. When you are thirsty, in all likelihood, you are already dehydrated. So thirst is kind of one of the last things that we will sense. Other signs and symptoms that you may feel is you may just feel a little bit lightheaded, fatigued, perhaps a little bit dizzy, a little bit nauseated. Those are all signs of dehydration. Another sign, which is harder to determine, is hunger. So sometimes our body, it's hard for our body to recognize when it is hungry versus when it is thirsty. Everything goes in the stomach, so the body doesn't really understand which is which all of the time. So we may actually feel a little bit hungry when we are in fact dehydrated. So again, making sure to always have a water bottle with you and being sure to continuously hydrate. When you are thirsty, in all likelihood, you have already become a little bit dehydrated. So making sure you're constantly getting that throughout the day. Let's keep in mind that alcohol does dehydrate you. So sipping on that alcoholic beverage outside, have some water with that and stay hydrated with that. With alcohol, it's important that we do recognize that that can be a source of dehydration that can cause that to happen easier. So making sure that if you are having an alcoholic beverage, to have some water with it as well. So if you're ordering at a patio, ask them to bring over a pitcher of water along with your sangrias or whatever you're having. So I just want to know, what is your adult beverage of choice in the summer? And I am going to share a couple ideas for mocktails. I don't think it's actually in this presentation, but I'll add it on in. I'm excited to see some of these. Ooh, a cider. Ciders are refreshing. Sangria. Mojitos. A beer, but I rarely drink. Okay.
It's okay, Jean-Marie. I'll have a glass for you in case.
Yeah, so these are all delicious. I'm going to give a couple of pointers for both alcoholic beverages and also some mocktails for people who may not drink as much. So again, remembering that alcoholic beverages, typically the recommendation is one serving per day. Now, when we are purchasing alcoholic beverages, it's likely a better option to prepare your own at home. There's lots of tasty ways to make alcoholic beverages at home with things like real fruit juices, even blending or juicing your own fruit to make a sangria on your own can be a great idea. In these cases, the important thing is you can control the amount of sugar that you're adding. A lot of times, either at restaurants or if you are getting a store-bought beverage, those can contain excess amounts of sugar that we don't necessarily realize we're having, but they are present in the drink. When we make our own, we can always control the exact amount of sugar that we're using, or we can even make sugar-free beverages to be able to have. A couple ideas for mocktails, which it's funny, whoever wrote kombucha, because that's exactly what I'm saying for mocktails. Mocktails, what I suggest is starting with either a flavored sparkling water or a kombucha. This is going to get that fizzy drink that most alcoholic beverages have with it. From there, what you can do is you can get creative with adding sliced fruits. So oranges, mangoes, strawberries, peaches, anything that you want. And adding a little bit of honey for sweetness and some herbs. So one of my favorite is honey, strawberry, a little bit of basil or mint, and an orange kombucha or an orange sparkling water. And that makes a really tasty mocktail if you are not choosing to have an alcoholic beverage. And it can offer, especially if you're having kombucha, some health benefits. Kombucha is a probiotic, which means it contains live bacteria that can help improve our gut health. So there's tricky little ways to be able to still enjoy a beverage on a patio, or, you know, at a dinner party that is not alcoholic, that does have health benefits, and that still feels like a very refreshing summer drink. Okay, yes, question. Is there a question?
Can you share that recipe after when you send me your little PDF one pager? Because I would love to include that. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely send that for you.
And we'll make them here at the Hive one afternoon.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yes.
Mocktail mojitos, courtesy
A
of
mocktail party. Can I
You're
be
invited.
Amazing. Yes. So we're going to go through a couple of social strategies. So for when you are going to restaurants, when you're going to concerts, events, whatever you're going to. First one is planning ahead. So most of the time with social events, unless it's a very last minute plan, we know that it's happening and we can plan slightly ahead of time. Maybe this means if you're going to someone else's house for a dinner party, offering to bring a side dish that you can prepare at home. Maybe it's a nice refreshing salad, maybe it's a fruit platter. So you can actually bring something that you know is going to be nutritious to this dinner party that you may not be you know, aware of what's going to be there. Other ideas are if you're going to a restaurant, taking a look at the menu beforehand and seeing what options there are available that would be more nutrient dense options. So when I say that, typically when I go to a restaurant, I look for a plate that has about a quarter of it is protein, about a half of it is fruits or vegetables, and then another quarter is a whole grain. So something like quinoa, a brown rice bowl, even whole grain pasta, those are all great options. So looking to see what is on the menu, what's there that you can have that would be more a healthier choice for you. Oftentimes, planning ahead, even if you're going on vacation, looking at what restaurants are around, what food options are around, what sorts of nice hiking trails are around. Planning ahead can help you to make those decisions when you are actually there, rather than being a little bit frantic in the moment. Being the weirdo, that's me. That's 100% me, and I will own it. Going to restaurants and not being afraid to be, you know, a little out of the box, a little weird. One thing I like to do at restaurants is I will order usually like an appetizer salad and then a burger. And I will ask for the burger without the bun. I'll cut up the burger and put it on my salad. That way I have like a burger salad, or if they have a chicken burger, a chicken salad. There's a lot of different ways that you can make a meal that is really tasty at a restaurant, that is aligned with your goals. Not being afraid to ask for something that's a little out of the box, knowing that that decision is helping you improve yourself. It's helping you get to whatever goals that you are really passionate about achieving. That's not to say that you can't have a burger every once in a while. Of course, you absolutely can. But if you find you are going to restaurants quite often, or there's lots of events that are going on, really trying to make sure that you are spending some time and you're okay with going outside of the box, doing something a little weird to at least help you get to your goal. Learning how to say no. So again, I'll go back to that. Hello, Mitch. So again, I will go back to that, scenario. As I said before, you're out with friends, they, go to a place until 11 and then they decide to switch spots and go somewhere else. You know that you need sleep, you need rest for the next day. Being comfortable in saying, no, I'm not going to come along this time. I'll see you guys next time. And understanding that that is taking you closer to your goals. That's what's going to make you feel best. And so that should be prioritized. And always considering, is what you're doing right now what you want to be doing? Is there something that you would like to be doing more of? Is there something that you would like to be doing less of? And then maneuvering or pivoting yourself towards doing what you really want to be doing every single day. A couple of considerations to go through. So whenever we are making these goals, whenever we're striving to be the best version of ourselves that we can, taking an internal look of who we are, what we value, what our passions are, what our hobbies are. And whenever we do something that is aligned with our core values, what we truly believe in, usually our response is positive. If we do something that does not align with our core values, does not align with what we believe in, usually we have a negative response. So thinking about what your core values are, what you are passionate about, and moving towards doing those things that actually align with those values and align with those passions. Looking at your goals from a short-term standpoint. What do you want to achieve today? What do you want to achieve in this week? What do you want to achieve this month? And then also looking at your goals in the long term. Where do you want to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? And what can you do today? What small thing can you do today that will help you get there? Maybe 5 years from now, you want to run a marathon. And today, your first step is to put your shoes on and walk out the door. That's a great first step. That's going to get you closer to that marathon goal. Maybe a month from now, you start trying to do a 1 kilometer run, a 2 kilometer run. And then a couple months from now, you go to a 5 kilometer run. Within 5 years, you will get to that marathon. And you started today with putting shoes on and walking out the door. It may sound silly, it may not seem like a lot, but doing those small steps is what is going to help you with sustainable change. It's not about getting there fast, it's about getting there. And of course, ending on a positive note here, you can do absolutely anything. So sticking with your goals, sticking with your passions, breaking down larger goals into smaller things that you can do every day is going to help you get there. You will get there. It's not about a race. It's not a race to get to the finish line. It's about taking small, sustainable steps that you know you can continue to do over a long period of time so that you can achieve your goals. I do want to take just a moment to acknowledge that as we talk about all of these goals and as we talk about all these passions, in between them is a thing that we call life that is meant to be lived and it's meant to be enjoyed. That means that, for example, some things that you do may not be directly aligned with your health and wellness goals. They may be aligned with your social goals. They may be aligned with your spiritual goals, with other, financial goals, professional goals, other goals. It's about living life and finding that balance where all of your goals are satisfied and you're slowly getting towards each one. This means, for example, maybe you are going out to celebrate a friend's birthday and you're going to have a big slice of cake. You're going to have a bunch of pizza, a burger. You're going to eat way too much. But that's a social experience, a social memory that is going to help you get towards your social goals. It's going to bring a sense of satisfaction. Does it go towards your health and wellness goals? Maybe not. I wouldn't suggest having a burger, a pizza, and a couple of drinks every single day as a great, progression towards your health and wellness goals, but it is accomplishing something else. Recognizing and learning from every opportunity and continuing to better yourself as a person in all different aspects of life. So as we do talk about health and wellness, we also want to be aware that there's a life that's meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to be lived. And so enjoy every moment, work towards your goals, and also recognize that there are events that may not satisfy your health and wellness goals, but they are providing you a benefit in another area of your life. And one last little quote to end things off, which I really love to talk about, is you don't have to exercise or be active, you get to. And you don't have to eat healthily, you get to. And the reason that I love this so much is it really points out that being active has a bunch of benefits in life. It increases your confidence, self-esteem. It can help you feel better about yourself. It can improve mental health. It can improve physical health. Same with healthy eating. Healthy eating can help promote mental health, physical health. It can help you feel more confident in yourself, in your body, in your capabilities. And at the same time, recognizing that activity and healthy eating can present itself in a like in multitude of different ways. Exercise doesn't mean you have to go to the gym or you have to go for a run. Exercise may mean you get to go and play with your kids. You get to go play a soccer game. You get to go for a nice bike ride along the waterfront. So choosing things that you truly do enjoy and choosing healthy foods that you truly do enjoy. You don't have to have a kale salad if you don't like kale salad. You can have another meal that has vegetables, protein, and whole grains. So recognizing that these are huge benefits to your life and they can be things that you can really enjoy. And enjoying what you are doing is going to make it sustainable. All right, as we get to the end of this workshop, I would love to hear a couple takeaways and maybe something that you're going to do tomorrow to help yourself achieve your health and wellness goals.